substantiate your purchases, your travel, and all reimbursements. Again, please note that alcohol is not an allowable cost. Do not submit meal receipts that have alcohol purchases, and submit individual receipts when on travel. Ask yourself, is your purchase an allowable and allocable cost as defined by Perkins funding purchase? One more. Yeah. I want to leave you with this subliminal message. Any way you write it, it is still emphasized. Last but not least, detailed itemization. Detailed itemization. Detailed itemization. And if you want to be really helpful with your monitor and expedite the approval process of your claims, I just want to give kudos to C&M because I worked with them recently. And I worked very closely with Sharon and Misty, and they had what I called the ideal prototype of submitting their claims for reimbursement, because we had it worked out that every time they outlined their invoices coming in, I could match it directly with their application, and they were always on target. And they included in this matrix that they created their program of study. So when I saw that 4 people were traveling out to a conference, all I had to look was at the end column where it said what program of study was. I went right to that in a binder that's this thick, and I could find where these people were listed, where that purchase was listed. And it really helped in our approval process. So I want to thank C&M. I want to recommend them that if you want to talk to somebody about highlighting a matrix that is usable and working with your monitor and getting your reimbursements approved on a more timely basis, you know, you may want to look at what they have to offer, talk to their business person who is Misty Ortiz. And I'd like to thank you for your time and attention. If you have any questions, please call your monitors.
Okay, thanks, Renee. This will be a working lunch. Your monitors will be present, so if you have any questions, please hold off until lunch because we will be circulating. Please visit with your grant monitor. If you have any questions, we will be available for any questions. So I'm going to provide an overview of the Perkins online application. There are 8 parts or 8 appendices to the online application. I survived an appendicitis. You will not survive getting approved with your Perkins online application unless you have all 8 parts completed. Okay. In fact, one study did find recently that people with their appendix intact have a better positive flora in their intestines. So that might be one reason why I can continually get agita. That's Italian for indigestion. Okay. Okay, here we have the 8 appendices listed. When you log in, you will receive your login in approximately 2 weeks. Okay, with your username and password. This will be the first screen that you see after you log in with the 8 appendices. It is lettered A through H. Okay. The first letter is A. We need a signed copy of your letter of transmittal. We'll get your online letter, and please mail the original to us, okay, to the PED. The 7 clusters that you see in Appendix A were the 7 state clusters developed under Governor Richardson's administration that we're currently using to align with the 49 career pathways and the 16 national clusters. Okay, that's what you see here are the 7 New Mexico economic sectors that were developed about 6 years ago under Richardson's administration. So that's why you see these on the first of the appendix. Appendix B, your federal assurances. We need the original signatures of either your district superintendent or your CEO at the post-secondary level. This assures that your institution you represent will comply with all federal statutes and requirements. Okay, here are your questionnaire for your online application. Okay. Some of the questions have multiple parts, an A, B, or C. Please address all in its entirety. At a minimum, you must address at least one of the 9 required uses, at a minimum, okay, if not more, okay? Reflect on last year's application. If you're a new program manager, please read last year's application and reflect on it. If your program manager said that you were going to paint X, Y, and Z red and you only painted X and Y, please revise, update, look at the application, okay? Performance is Appendix D. Okay. We talked about performance measures yesterday. Hope everybody did their homework, looked at their data. You'll need to analyze your performance data for 13-14 on the Excel spreadsheet. Identify the number of years your target district or institution was not met. Identify that. You have the link to our CCRB homepage to receive your data, and identify the date when the performance plan was submitted to the PED. There'll be a little field box to submit the date. Okay. Okay. There'll be an area for secondary example and post-secondary examples. Okay, to submit your data. Okay. Appendix E aligns your clusters and pathways. Offers a crosswalk to identify the state and national clusters. I talked earlier about the 7 economic development centers developed. This is a 10-page document. Okay, it's pretty lengthy to help you do your crosswalk for ease of programs of study. Okay. Please make sure that your 3-course sequence is a non-duplicative sequence of courses for your linking secondary and post-secondary in a program of study to ensure that students transition to post-secondary education without duplicating any coursework. Mary provided your in-depth presentation on programs of study. Okay. We're going to continue. Appendix F is a very lengthy section of the online application. So we'll continue with the labor market information. All of the occupations that you list in your programs of study need to be high skill, high wage, high demand according to the Perkins Act. It needs to meet a threshold occupation minimum of $15, and you'll be going to your Department of Workforce Solutions website to obtain all your labor market information that you might need to identify the occupations in your program of study. Okay. Let's see. In the labor market information, you'll have to identify the job occupation, the number of job growth in that occupation, the entry-level salary at a minimum of $15, an average salary, and an experience salary. And you can find that all at the online link with Department of Workforce Solutions. The next section in Appendix A are your CTSOs. This is also a drop-down menu for any new Perkins directors. There are 7 listed in the drop-down menu. Please document the number of students involved in each CTSO, because you're going to need that information on your APR later on in the year. Okay, so please, annual performance report. Okay, for anybody new, annual performance report that you'll need to submit to the PED at the conclusion of your application year. So please document and keep track of all the students involved, okay, in your CTSO organizations. You'll have to identify your local industry partners. Okay, do you have work-based learning, internships, community service projects, or volunteer work? Okay. Industry certifications. This will be another drop-down menu. There are approximately maybe over 100, maybe 105 industry certifications in the drop-down menu to list. Adobe lists, I believe there's 12 Adobe certifications in the drop-down menu. There are approximately 16 ASE, Automotive Service of Excellence certifications in the drop-down menu. And again, I believe there's over 100 in the STARS drop-down menu. Okay. Identify your advisory committee and the details. Identify the name of the person, the position, and the industry affiliation that the